Welcome to Psychology Refresh. Today we're going to go over the 10 signs you are dealing with a toxic person. Make sure to watch each one of them so you will know if you have any toxic people around you. Have you ever invested months, multiple coffee dates, and endless WhatsApp messages into a relationship or friendship, only to discover that the person is toxic to be around? Well, the chances are you have. Sometimes people aren't in the right place to be good friends, or there's a personality clash that brings out the worst in each other. Sometimes, however, that person simply does not want the best for you. Yes, it's horrifying, but it's true. If you know someone who's difficult and causes a lot of conflict in your life, you may be dealing with a toxic person. These people can create a lot of stress and unpleasantness for you and others, not to mention emotional and even physical pain. A toxic person is anyone whose behavior adds negativity and upset to your life. So, what are the symptoms of a toxic person in your life? Here are 10 signs you are dealing with a toxic person. Number 1. They always need your attention. Have you ever noticed how the person is always in need of something from you? They always need emotional support, whether it's through phone calls, text, or showing up at your door, and they're not likely to be supportive of you in return. They take everything you have without giving you much in return. They have heightened self-interest, a desire to prove their own greatness in order to receive affirmation. This is also linked to narcissistic personality disorder. Number 2. They are blaming others. Toxic people tend to project their feelings of insecurity or uncertainty onto those closest to them rather than accept responsibility for these feelings. For example, if someone is in a bad mood but refuses to acknowledge or accept responsibility for their feelings, they may turn to you and say, "You're sure in a bad mood today," which will probably leave you puzzled. You'll frequently find yourself on the defensive without properly understanding why. You will receive accusations or questions that make no sense to you and appear to come from nowhere. Number 3. They disregard your boundaries. It makes no difference if you've asked them to stop acting a certain way. A toxic person will continue to act in ways that go against your wishes. Toxic people will also expect you to come through for them no matter what time of day it is or what your personal circumstances are. It's nearly impossible to form a positive, supportive relationship with people who disregard your boundaries and don't even notice when they're trampling on you. Your personal boundaries are the barriers you erect to keep yourself separate from the world around you. Your boundaries help define you and protect you from people who are hurtful, disrespectful, and invading. People who have healthy boundaries are aware of their own limitations and are able to express themselves. If you are enjoying our content, please give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to turn on the notification bell. Number 4. They always play the victim. Their victim status is a misleading strategy used to gain sympathy and attention. Toxic people are constantly looking for someone else to blame for their problems. Perhaps they missed a deadline because no one reminded them, or they are late for work because their spouse failed to set an alarm. Everyone experiences adversity at some point in their lives. Toxic people, on the other hand, are happy to blame everyone else for their problems, including the ones they should own. However, whatever happens to a toxic person is almost always the fault of someone else. Number 5. They don't apologize. Even if they are wrong, toxic people rarely apologize. When toxic people apologize, it's usually a calculated move to get you to give them what they want. They always feel the need to be right no matter what, and will change the information or blame others to be right. Number 6. They are habitually sarcastic. A little sarcasm here and there can be funny. Too much sarcasm, on the other hand, can hurt people's feelings and weaken them. As a result, it is a favorite weapon of toxic people. Sarcasm is actually a manifestation of anger, distrust, and weakness. Toxic people are so used to communicating with sarcasm that they are oblivious to the harm they are causing. When confronted with the accusation of being hurtful, toxic people frequently respond with even more rage. Excessive sarcasm is never a healthy way to interact with others. Number 7. They refuse to listen to you. Toxic people act bored or change the topic of the conversation while you are speaking. They do, however, expect you to listen to them when they are speaking. Your talking takes away from any attention that could be on them and puts the focus on you. A toxic person will only think about what they want to say next, rather than listening to what you have to say in order to understand you. They will appear uninterested in what you have to say and will redirect the conversation to themselves rather than attempting to understand your point of view. Number 8. They feign concern for your welfare. Pretending to be concerned about you is a strategy that toxic people frequently employ to make you feel as if they care about you, especially if you are beginning to suspect that something is wrong. This false sense of concern may be mistaken for genuine remorse, but it is simply a calculated attempt to catch you off guard or appeal to your sentimentality. Toxic people will suck you back into the relationship by displaying desirable behaviors just as you think you're about to wiggle free from their clutches. Number 9. They are inconsistent in their behavior. When you're with a toxic person, nothing is stable. Opinions, preferences, and plans can change from one day to the next. Often, there isn't a clear explanation for the shift in attitude, you just know something isn't right. They may be cold or cranky, and when asked if anything is wrong, they may say nothing, but they will add a sigh or a facial expression to indicate that something is wrong. You will then most likely seek ways to make them happy, which is why toxic people do this. Toxic people understand that decent people will go out of their way to make their surroundings happy. They are aware that you are concerned about what they are thinking. You shouldn't, however, have to guess which version of the person you'll be interacting with each day. Number 10. They boast about their achievements. The desire to brag arises from a deep sense of insecurity. People who feel inferior waste their time overcompensating in order to appear superior to others. The only way these indecisive people can be happy is to make others noticeably unhappy. To compensate for the flaws that they desperately hope you will never notice, toxic people frequently brag. They will even take credit for someone else's achievements because they need the validation to feel superior to others. These people with no sense of self-worth still have an innate need to feel like a valuable member of society, and this need can only be met if they project their perceived greatness. These are just a few ways to identify a toxic person in any aspect of your life. Remember that toxic people can only change if they want to, no matter how much you love them. You can only be kind and supportive to them. Throughout the process, keep in mind not to fall victim to their demands or negative influence. Maintain your position and stand your ground. These videos will be really helpful for you.